Hi there guys, this is Farmer Bob. Welcome back to my channel guys. Great to be back on another map making video. Awesome man. If this is the first time you stumbled on my little channel, a warm welcome to you, and I do appreciate you watching. I do give a like if you like my stuff, and share. I do appreciate if you share my content, and most of all, do subscribe if you are willing. Thanks so much. Great guys, so I've had a few guys wondering about or struggling with field creation. Now, I've made a previous video on field creation, and it was more of an exploration video on the effects of fields and you know, stuff that happens, because there's an understanding of fields, and then there's actually two type of fields that you can create, you know. So I'm going to take another stab at field creation, and hopefully this will be a better stab than the previous one, if I can put it like that. Good man. Great, so let's get stuck in. First of all, I've got open here my test map, and let us take a look at maybe creating a field on this field just above the house. This is the Erlengrad map, if you know the Alpine map, as they call it, or the real name of it is Erlengrad, and let's make a field on this area here. Okay, so first of all, if you have a new map and you have got no fields, I'm going to show you the easiest way how to get fields set up in your map. It's much simpler this way than trying to do it creating the field transform and putting all the attributes in, because there's quite a bit of attributes in the field transform. If you go to gameplay and you click on the fields, scripts, not scripts, user attributes, you'll see there's some scripts that's running, okay, and then also your fields themselves have also got a few scripts and stuff going on, you know, so, or attributes rather than scripts. There's no scripts here, but more attributes. So in order for you to simply get this in your map without having to spend an hour trying to figure out what all this stuff is and how to set them up and that, I'm going to show you the quick and easy way how to do it. All right, so what you will do, I'm going to, just for this video's sake, just delete the fields and then start from scratch and say, okay, this game or this map does not have fields. So let's quickly do that, just to help you guys out that hasn't got the fields yet or haven't got the fields yet. All right, so in your game installation directory, just go there into the data folder, go to maps, then pick any map. I'm using the Alpine map, so it doesn't really matter which one you use, they're all the same. So I'm just going to grab the one that I'm currently using and open that up again. This is now the actual in-game one, so this is not my map, it's the in-game one. Or maybe for the sake of the video, let me not use the Alpine one. It doesn't really matter, it's all the same, like I said, guys. So what you will do is just grab the field transform from this game, or map rather. There it is. Go File, Export Selection with Files, and then you go into your map. So find your map folder. Mine is in the mods folder. So I'm in My Games Farming Simulator mods, and then I'll find my test map. Anywhere you want, just create a temp folder. So I'm just going to go new folder and just call it temp, because we're going to delete this folder once we're done with everything, once you've imported. All right, because once the i3D is imported, it actually becomes part of your map i3D, so you can delete the whole thing that you've exported. All right, so then we're going to call this just fields. Doesn't matter what you call it. Like I say, it's gonna have its own name once you've imported anyway, and then save. Add the two questions. Always, in this case, when you export from the in-game maps, go yes to both of them. All right, so it's going to keep everything in-game and not in your map. All right, so now we go back to our map, which is the test map, in my mods folder. Find the temp folder, and you'll find the fields i3D in there. All right, so all we do now is go into our map. This is it here. You see mods test map, and then I'll go import it, file import, and it should take me to my last export, which was the one I've just done, and just basically import it. And in one simple blow, I've got all the fields with the attributes and everything there. Very nicely set up already. Now, if you are making your own map, you can use these fields, but it's a bit confusing if you use another map's fields, because you're going to have to work around the field dimensions which is already set up, so it's going to look funny, but you can definitely do it, and I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. So here we go. I'm going to Control X on that, or you can move it with your middle mouse button, but for this case I'm just going to drop it back into the gameplay where it used to be. Control V, and I paste it in there, and there it is. It doesn't matter in the hierarchy where it is, so I'm just trying to remember where it was, but because there might be on XML nodes. No, I don't have any placeables here, so it shouldn't make a difference. All right. Okay, so we're back here. We want to make a field here. Now that we have the field set up, so basically, guys, a lot of guys get confused between fields and farmland. They're not the same thing. They're two totally opposite things. Farmland is set up via an info layer. Fields is set up via painting the actual field on the first. The physical part is painting the field on the terrain, and then creating the field, these things, the field dimensions, with a mask, sort of mask that you place over the area that you've painted. That is how you set up fields. Now, farmland, you have to go in here into the field info layer terrain paint mode and select your farmland here at the bottom. You see I am on info layer farmlands, so if I click here, my farmlands will appear, you see, and then I can now say farmland 1, and then I want to paint farmland 1 here, if I want farmland 1 to be here on, and normally, like I explained to a lot of guys, think of the real world. When you buy a farm in the real world, it will have many fields. It's very seldom that you will buy a farm with just one field. You'll buy a piece of land from another owner, which is exactly what farmland in the game is. It's a piece of land with an owner on it. And if you go into the farmland XML, maps, map Alpine, if you go to your farmlands XML, you'll find the owners are here. There's the owners. There's 15 of them in Farming Simulator 22. And that's called NPCs. That's in-game farmers. They're the guys that plants and sows and reaps and harvests and do all kinds of things in the game together with you as another farmer in the game. That's why default farmland is the farm that you start with, that you're the owner of it. So all the thing that says default farmland is the actual property you own as a farmer when you start the game. All right, so I hope that makes sense, guys. So a farm will never have just one field. Now I get these guys, they take one field and they call it a farm, They paint the whole thing, one field with one farmland. And you only have 15 farmers in the game. So just make proper farms, guys. Use your imagination. A farm will have maybe 10 fields, maybe 8 fields. But it certainly won't have just one field, So yeah, just be realistic when you create maps as well. Okay, now I know why the guys do that. Why they paint one farmland on one field is because they want the ability to buy only one field in the game. But that's not realistic, It's totally unrealistic to have a whole farm and one farmer just having one piece of farmland, Although one farmer in the game can own many pieces of farmland, then so it just makes more ownership in the game. So yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, but it's just for my mind to process it properly, Okay, so what we will do then is have a look at our field transforms. They are always at 0, so they stay in the center of the map, the field transforms, but the stuff inside the field transform is the ones that move around. If you look at the field dimensions, they're the ones that move around. There you go. So even the field dimensions stay at 0. This is not necessarily, you don't have to have it like that. In my maps, I don't really like doing that, because if I click on a field, then I can't see where the field is, because they're all at 0, So what I do in my maps is I move the field. If I take the field, I put that in the center of the field like this. Control and B, drop the field here, like there. And then what happens is now suddenly my field dimensions, I'll also have to drop, sorry, no, I don't have to drop that there, but the actual field dimensions is these things here, the corners. I have to drop them here too. All right, but I'm running the head now, so let us just first paint the field. Now to paint the field is very simple, guys. You use your normal foliage paint mode. I'm just going to minimize some of these stuff that I don't use. I'm not going to use the brush. Yeah, I am. The texture that we can close, mesh we can close, foliage layer. This is where we are. This is what we want to do. We want to use the foliage layer to paint the field. And for that, you're going to go into terrain detail. That is what this is for. The terrain detail height is when you paint stuff like stuff that has got height to it, like coal or minerals or all the stuff that you have in mines, like copper and gold and that type of stuff. You'll use the terrain detail height to paint those. Something for another video. We're busy with fields here, so we're going to use the terrain detail. Okay, because we're going to modify the detail of the terrain. And we're going to add here the ground type. I like to go just cultivated for my field, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so I'm going to paint a nice roundish field in here, just sort of for the sake of the video, not to spend too much time on that. It doesn't matter how you paint your field, but what's important is that you have it sort of looking enough like a field in this case, you know. So yeah, in your own on your own map you will paint it properly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here to anything that's got foliage, and I'm going to right click and I must just put my right mouse button. Where is my right mouse button now? Is it now at sculpting? Yes, I just need to put my right mouse button up, subtract. Yeah, in my previous usage I was busy doing some terrain editing, and I'm going to remove the foliage of this field, just so gently, you know, just not to I don't have to be that cautious for the sake of the video, but if you make your own map you'll be much more cautious, you know, to make it nice. Alright, there you go, just all the foliage is off. And believe it or not, guys, this field that I've painted now, it's already in game. Save it like this. You don't even have to put the field dimensions over it. This is enough for the game to work and play and plant and whatever. The only problem is you will not have a field number. There won't be a field number on it. And for the rest of the game it will be perfect. It won't bother, you know. So you can actually remove the fields transform totally. This fields transform is only for the in-game workers, for the in-game farmers, so that they have a field set up and that they can plant and produce crops and everything. That's the only reason why we put these fields on here, is so the in-game farmers have the fields. For us, as normal farmers in the game, you don't need that. You plant your crops on here. You can use Autodrive and what's that other tool to plant your crops and go on. Even the in-game worker, which is different than the in-game farmer. The in-game worker will plant this field. It doesn't have a problem planting this field. You can set it up and it will plant this field as it is now without this markings. So this markings we put on is solely for the in-game farmers. It's got nothing to do with anything else. It's just for the in-game farmers. And you can go and test it yourself. If you don't believe me, go play around with it. Put this now in the game. Save it like this. Put it in the game and set a worker on it. It will plant the crop. And the crops will grow. No problem. Like I said, the only thing is you won't have a field number popping up in your field screen. So yeah, that's the only thing. Alright, so anyway, let's get back to our job at hand. We want to now add the field dimensions to this little field of ours. So I'm going to select the first one, Control and B, drop it. This is the first corner, so let us start maybe on the side. So I like to start on the side, Control B there. And a tip on this, guys, when you want to work with these things, oh yeah, I forgot now. When you work with these things, first of all, be right on top of it. So you can see now my green arrow is sort of, I can see the shaft of the arrow. So it means I'm not on top of it. So if I move to the left now, and this goes to the center, I'm sort of more on top of it, you know. So that is what you want to see when you work with this corners, when we place the corners. All right, so now, before I do that, I must actually just enable the field so we can see the fields. So I'm just going to save my map here just for interest's sake. There it is. Now we're going to go to scripts. With this fields transform selected, the main transform, not the field, the main transform of fields, the one with the field util on create. You select that, run the script that says map, and then toggle render field areas. So once you've done that, now your field dimensions is suddenly going to pop up into view. So we want to go select this one, open this up, the plus. You'll see the corner number 1 is the anchor corner. So that one will be the thing that sort of positions your whole one dimension. All right, it moves the whole thing around. If I can zoom out a little bit. There it is. This is the whole number 1 field dimension. So that corner, the first corner anchors the whole thing, and that is the thing that moves it around. The other 2 corners is the corners that determine the size and the width, the length and the width of this field dimension. All right, so first of all, we want to place this like I've done here, drop it there on a spot, and then I'm going to go, for the sake of the video, the furthest point I can is the other side of the map. So I'm going to select corner number 2, Control B, and drop it here. You see? So now you can see I've got a little bit of field coming in and out, which is not good, but for now we're going to leave that like that. And I'm going to take corner number 3 and drop it on the far side of the field, somewhere here, Control B. I'm just going to put it sort of roughly now. And then I'm going to zoom in close. Like I said, you want to sort of be on top of it. All right, and then you can move it about with your arrow keys. Just be certain you've got the arrow key when you mouse over it. There you go. So I'm going to leave it there for now, and just make sure the other point of it, because that point has got no control. The control is the length and the width. All right. So make sure the other point is not sticking into your grass side. It must be on the field. So that one is looking all right. All right. So now we're done with field corner 01. Now we're going to go to field corner 02, or the second one, or the field dimension 02, not corners. Sorry, guys. That's field dimension. And we're going to do this round bit here. So I'm going to take the first one, which is the control one, Control B. Just drop it a little bit over it. You'll see a little bit to the back of it. And then I can just come in close. Make sure I'm on top, or roughly on top. That's about it, yeah. That looks fairly all right. I'm a little bit over. I can move it a little bit there, for instance, and maybe it's a little bit too far over, but that should be all right, just like that. And then we go to another spot where we want to come here. Now, the more corners or the more dimensions you put on the field, the nice and smoother it will be, you know. To give you an idea, the corner will be smoother. Control B on the third one. So I'm going to just drop this angle in there, like so. All right, so that looks very good. And now we're going to take another slice. So close this one, we're done with it. Select the whole corner, Control D to duplicate. And here you can duplicate as many as you want, you know. So just don't duplicate extra ones and not use it, you know. So we're going to go here, Control B once again. I'm just going to go fast for this part of the video, guys. Not going to be very precise. Like if you come in close, you'll see I'm sort of out, you know. You'll see I'm fairly out of place. So as long as it's overlapping just a tiny bit, you must see a sliver of a different color, you know, that sort of does the trick. And now we open that, corner number 2, Control B, corner number 2, and corner number 3, once again, Control B. Yeah, you don't have to be sort of precise, you know, I'm just letting them fall in there. So what you want to do is you want to build like a layer of this mask over the field, which will at the end of the day sort of show the field, you know. So next corner, Control D once again, Control B, drop it here. And I'm using my, while you've got the Control B and you have your mouse pressed in, you can still move the field, but once you leave the mouse, you're going to have to Control B once again if you want to place it. So yeah, you can move it now with your mouse, move it into place, sort of like that. And I'm just going to go fast here now. I'm not going to be bothered about being precise, guys. Control B for the second corner, or the second corner, and then the third one, just going to go in there, like so. Alright, and that's the idea, guys. So now what you will do is you will continue this thing all around until you've done the whole field and set up every little piece and corner and make it look nice. Now, I'm going to give you a tip now. Once you've done your whole field and it's all looking good, come back and edit these pieces here. Go over it, edit these pieces that's sticking out, so they don't stick out too much, you know. So what you will do is come back to the terrain foliage paint mode, make your brush a tiny bit smaller, doesn't have to be that big, and then just paint in. You will see now, if I now with my right mouse button remove field, it should remove the field. Am I still at subtract? It should be at subtract. I am at subtract. So if I paint the field, maybe I'm too big. Ah, sorry, I'm not at I was going to say, what's going on here, guys? Alright, you have to obviously select terrain detail here at foliage layer, and then I can use my subtract and remove some of the painted field and come inside, just go back to cultivated, come inside to bring them back, you know. So what you will do is sort of make it look nice, you know, as best as you can. In my case, it doesn't work out so good. But anyway, corners like this one also needs a bit of work. So let's go back there. So I'm going to remove this piece here. And you can also use your Alt key, middle mouse, to pan while you're working. It helps a lot to sort of get around these edges and things. Great. So once you've done all the fixing up, you can just save your, obviously, of course, first go fields and then window, scripts, map, and toggle render field areas once again. Once you've done all of what you wanted to do, you know, it should take the fields away, and it crashes my map. Very, very nice. So all my work has been lost. I wonder what I did wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. Was I still in the paint mode? Unfortunately, that now was a big mess. This has happened many times with me, guys, and I'm glad it's on video, because it is something that Giants hasn't sorted out in their editor. Something crashes the editor, and I'm not sure what I have done. I know you have to select the field transform, and I've done that. You definitely have seen that I've done that. So if I go scripts, map, get toggle render field areas, it will show the things. Field 1 control, field 1 is here. Field dimensions, corner 1, control B. I'm not going to be bothered too much with these things now, guys. I'm just going to quickly do a corner here, control B. Control B, just like that. And then let's just put corner 2 on here as well. Control B, just to be safe, that we have both corners in the field. Control B and Control B. So let's just call that a field. And then the last thing I forgot to mention, obviously, once you've done the field 01, the field map indicator is very important to place that in the center of your field. It's not very precise, it doesn't matter, but where you want the field I number to appear in your PDA, that is where you will place that. So Control B on the field 01 field map indicator and have it on the field somewhere in the center of the field. Alright, so that is important. And I've got a feeling that it's got to do with this tool, the terrain foliage paint mode. I've done this a few times. If you've used the terrain foliage paint mode while you have the field script running, that is why the map crashes. I remember now, I've actually investigated it 2 years back, I think. Do not use, if you've used the field script, like we're displaying the field dimensions now, if you've used that and you've used the texture layer, not the texture layer paint mode, the foliage layer paint mode, together with that's mesh painting, there it is. If you've gone here into terrain detail and now painted while this script is running, that is the problem. Giants, if you can fix that for us. I remember now. If you've used this now to edit your fields like I've done, I'll just quickly select here a cultivated bed, and then I'll modify that piece. It's still at replace now, sorry. I've obviously now lost all my stuff here. If you've used that like this, just go back into any bush or whatever, and hopefully when you go now to go to scripts and toggle this off again, first, before you do that, save your map. By all means, please guys, before you do this, before you run the script back, just save your map first. Alright, it won't make a difference because the script will be deselected or what can you call it? It won't be active when you restart your map. But first save your work and then come back to fields, run the script, map, toggle render field areas to get rid of that. So deco bush, go to any of the foliages. Don't stay on the terrain detail once you've edited, because that is what causes the thing to crash. When you're in terrain detail and you're editing that and you've got the script in the back or running, and when you go back and you go, I can actually test that. I think I have tested that a while back. If I now can go back to the script, map, toggle render field areas. So there we go. Yeah, crashes. You see, so it's got to do with having the terrain detail together with the script. So something there is in Giants coding is got a big problem, you know. So tip there, guys, before you disable that script, do save the map, because now look, now I'm opening my map once again, and whoop-de-doo, I will have my work saved at least and nothing lost, you know. There you go. So now I can once again go into fields, which is in here. There it is. And then script, map, toggle render field areas. So a big tip there, guys. Do click on save before you come and disable this field transform script or for the field dimension script. All right, so here we go. If we're going to just test it once again, just to make sure. You see, now it works fine because I'm not on I'm on grass. I'm on one of the foliages. All right. So big tip there, guys, and that, guys, is how you create fields with simple and easy to use instructions. And remember now, the fields has got nothing to do with the farmland. So you will now, once you've done your whole map fields, you will come in and set your farmlands, which fields are included and on a farm. And the farmlands are done, like I said earlier on, here at the info layer paint mode with this little tool here. You will come and paint your farmlands. You see there's all the different farmlands, and you will paint it here. Control R to select a farmland, and you can make the farmland bigger or smaller or whatever you want to do. Include that field now in the farmland. If you want to add that field into the farmland, you'll just paint this whole field in, and then the farmland will absorb that. This one that's selected, which by the way is farmland 43. If I want to know what that farmland is, Control R, and it will jump to farmland 33, which is that one. And now I can paint this one back again, or fix what I've done just now. Remove all that. I'm not going to save the map here. It's actually just my test map, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But that's how you manipulate the farmlands, Control R for this one, and now I can just paint this one back again, so it will look like that. Well, guys, so now that is basically how you create fields and how the field setup work and how easy it is to not bother with the scripts. One last thing I can mention, if you open the field in here in the material editing, not material editing, but attributes, user attributes, let's just find it, there it is. If you look at your field dimensions, they don't have any scripts. The indicator doesn't have nothing, no attributes there, and even the corners, there's no scripts there in the corners. So or any attributes. So the only thing that has attributes is the actual field and the main field transform. So there's one script running here, which is field util on create script, and the others are just attributes. Now this one here, the field angle. You can change the field angle if you want to. Field dimension index. Field dimension index. I'm not too sure what that is. Field dimension index. I won't bother with that. I can't tell you what it is. But the field grass mission is very important. So here, the field grass mission, if you've got that selected on that particular field, it will mean that all the in-game farmers will only plant grass on that field. So if this is now selected, there will be only grass on your map. Not on your default fields, but on the NPC fields. On all the farms that has got this, or on the fields that has got this selected, grass will grow on that and they will only plant grass. So that's a way to manipulate what the NPC players plant. If you want them to plant grass, you just add that in the little tick. If you don't want grass, if you want them to plant other crops, take the tick off, guys. Or you can delete the whole script if you want to. But I always leave the script there for an option. It's nice to have the option to select. So it's best to have that on all your fields. All right. Now, if you should want to know, for instance, what this attributes are, it's very simple and easy to come into the i3D and check. So all you need to do is copy this name, for instance, field dimension index or field angle. Then we go into the i3D. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to open the map i3D in the edit, not in the editor, sorry. I must actually just select it, right click, edit with notepad. And then once it's open, I'm going to go Control F for find. Just want to see that name again. It's field angle. The case doesn't matter because I never have my field angle like that. All right, so here it is. User attribute. Field angle is, the type is an integer. All right, and then field dimension index is also an integer. Field grass mission, there it is. It's a Boolean. So when you have to set these things up manually, if you want to add, for instance, field say you've got the map and you haven't got the script for grass missions. Like for instance, this field. Where is it gone to now? There it is. It's only field 1 that had the grass missions. Okay, my word. All right, so let's just add a quick script here, or not a script, an attribute to field 2. If you want to add them, so what you will do is you will type a name there called, I can actually copy it now, field grass mission. So it's field grass with a G capital and then mission with a M capital. So copy that. It's much simpler into the game, and I'll type here a new attribute, and I'm going to put a name in there. And this is where it becomes important to select the correct type, and that's why you have to come here to check the type. Now Boolean looks like it's the first one, but if you wanted to add another type of attribute, you have to have the correct type, because otherwise the thing won't work, you know. So we have to select Boolean here, and then zoop, there it is, and you've got it there. You can now tick or untick it. So that way you can now give that option to all your fields, and all will be well. Great, guys. So there's nothing else that I can think of sharing. That basically concludes how to add fields to your map, and how to build them, and how to set them up. There's nothing else that I can think of currently to sort of give you guys tips on. Great. So I hope it's been insightful, and I hope it's helped. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. Do remember to like and subscribe, and also share my goodies. And if you like my stuff and you really want to support me, jump onto my Patreon. I do appreciate all of you guys that support me. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a fantastic day. Take care, man. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.